We're here for a very good reason and a bad reason. Everybody knows that the church closed down, and it's a very unfortunate because it was a beautiful church. It's been there since the 1890s, and actually is the second Catholic church that was in German. The first Catholic church came from Archibald. They brought it up on a wagon and put it in the backyard of Mary Golden's house on Main Street. That wasn't Mary Golden's house, probably wasn't there then. And they worshiped there for quite a few years, and then they decided to build the church in German. And there's a story that goes with that nobody knows, but I found it in the 1935 Catholic Light that's sitting there, which is one of our donations that was here. And they were going to build a church in Mayfield called St. Philip. And they had the land purchased, and they had started digging the foundation for it. And then the bishop decided that it was better to do one building in German rather than one in German and one in Mayfield. And the people from Mayfield hemmed and hawed a little bit, but I guess they came to the realization that one church would be easier to maintain. It would be better financially for them to only have the one church. So they built that beautiful Catholic church that's down there. I remember it when it had the rectory next to it on the other side. Beautiful, beautiful building. And I think over in the far right corner is a little bookshelf. And I tried to buy all the bookshelves out of that when they were closing it. I never end up getting them, but that's the same exact kind of bookshelf that were in there. And it would have been beautiful to have 4 or 5 of them in here, but we really didn't have a building at the time, so I would have had to store them in my house, and my wife would have probably left me, and the story would be changed, and I wouldn't be here. So anyway, that Catholic church has been sitting there forever. The story always was that the Mayfield people came in the left door, and the German people came in the right door. And the German people sat on the right side, and the Mayfield people sat on the left side. And it's been that way forever. And we're very fortunate to have a couple of members of our historical society. Tom O'Neill is one of them that went to that church. Fred Jones, I believe your family went to that church. And we have quite a few more that couldn't be here. And there's still a lot of people in town that have gone to that church their whole lives. So now they have to find another home. And I think that the one donor that has helped us build this building, who purchased this painting, wanted to make sure it came here. He didn't know where else to take it. He didn't know where to put it. And he was going to give it to a family, and then he said it would be better if people could see it. Mm-hmm. So he decided he was going to donate it to us, and that's why we're here today. So with that, I'm going to introduce Mark Peppa and Judith Myers. They're the ones from the Catholic Foundation, and they're going to do the presentation. And I let them introduce the infamous Austin Berg. One of his paintings is sitting over there.
Oh, you have another one here?
Yeah, a small one over there at Tony Seminaro.
Oh, Tony. Wow. Now there's an asset of German that should be preserved.
Yeah, Tony.
He's
Tony
been preserved almost as long as O'Neill's been preserved.
I hate to say this because I'm an athlete, but I think Tony was probably the best athlete to come out of Germany.
Well,
and I hate to say that because I'd like to say I'm right up there with him.
That's great. But thank you, Bruce. Thanks. The Catholic Foundation for the Diocese of Scranton was really started about 2 years ago or so, a little over 2 years ago. And we are still in a growth phase and trying to become established and grow into something that is really going to impact the diocese. So far, we've had a lot of people step up and really help us in a lot of different ways. Financially, yes, people have us in their estate plans, but really this of what Austin did is something that was really unexpected and really impactful for us. He approached us a little over a year ago. I was not the executive director at that point. By the way, my name is Mark DePippa. I am the executive director of the Catholic Foundation. I was not the executive director at that point, but shortly after I came on, and Austin said, I would like to paint paintings of the local churches here and donate them to the foundation so that we could raise some money and help with our day-to-day expenses and things. I did not realize how big and what an impact we would have with this. Austin ended up doing a little over 20 paintings for us. Some of them he had, others he did just for us. But the far and wide exposure that the foundation was able to have, I can never thank him enough. So this for us is another step in the process. Us to be here and be able to give you this painting is because of what Bruce said, this donor that had stepped forward and said, I want this to not only just be something that the foundation can get a couple bucks for, but I want to be able to have this displayed. So I'm so happy that we're able to find a home for this that is not going to be in somebody's home, and not that they can't have them there, but this is going to be something that people are going to be able to come and see and look at. So I do want to make sure that I thank Austin for all that he's done for us. Judy has been involved with the foundation for probably 4 months now, 5? Are we in that ballpark? 4 or 5 months now? And she has been an integral part to help us in the office doing everything we do. And we had some conversation this morning. It's never just about the office. Judy is out with me when I go places. We are a team trying to make this foundation being something wonderful for the diocese. We impact, just so you know, we have 5 unique endowments that we have put together. One for retired priests, one for vocations for the seminarians, one for Catholic schools, one for Catholic social services, and then we have one for historic preservation, which helps with the cathedral and other historic churches. So the foundation and all of those have some dollars in the endowments right now. So we are excited about what this is going to do for the church long term. So with that, what I'm going to do is, I think if we can unveil this, and Bruce, I don't know who you want to come up. We can, if it's just you, if we want to have the board members come up, we can
come up, Fred, Gene.
Yep, we could do the presentation. And I'd like Austin to do this.
Gene, you want to come up?
The one that really put this.
No, I know she don't like to be. She don't like to be in pictures. I know.
It's my pleasure, sir.
All right, we got everybody we're going to have in here?
Yep.
Terrific. You know, you go throughout the Diocese of Scranton, throughout all of northeastern and the middle of Pennsylvania, and great communities are there, great parishes are there, and in each community, many times the most beautiful, the most iconic building is the church in that community. And that I've been painting iconic buildings throughout northeastern Pennsylvania. Many of them were churches, and it brings me great joy to paint them, and I plan on continue painting them as well. So if you have cousins or uncles or whatever that said, gee, I'd like my church painted, contact Mark. We can arrange that and make that happen. One other aspect of it that is satisfying to me is that unfortunately we're losing some of these churches because the populations are declining. But I've been able to paint some of them. I painted the Sacred Heart Church over in Mayfield, this Sacred Heart Church, St. Mary of Vilna in Einen, and others, churches that are no longer existing as religious sites. And I feel that it's good to have them preserved well in places where people can enjoy them. And this historic society that you put together in German is really a place where I'd like to see this And so thank you for the work
Appreciate
you've done
that.
with the Historic Society.
I'd like our mayor to come up too. Our mayor is here.
All right.
She was hiding behind Dale and I forgot all about it.
Usually mayors aren't shy about getting their opinion.
I'd like her to,
This is gorgeous.
I'd like her to accept it on behalf
All
of
right.
the Historical Society.
All righty.
Thank you, Bruce.
There you go. We got the cameras
That's
over
great.
there
Yeah.
if you want to do that. All right.
Good.
Got it all there.
Got it on the right.
Wow.
Beautiful picture.
And I couldn't agree more. I think it's perfect to be here.
Yeah.
Bruce has done an amazing job with everything that he's captured regarding the entire town, and he's a wealth of knowledge to be able to display everything. So this story will live on for a long, long, long
And this
time.
will, if anything happens here to this building, because of me leaving and not having enough members step up to the plate to do anything, this will end up in the borough building. So it will be in the
Yes.
borough forever if anything happens here. But it's not just gonna go to somebody's home. It'll be where it'll be displayed. And one other quick thing, the guy that purchased this and wanted it donated here, he also has a scholarship for Scranton Prep. And he wants to make sure that anybody from the Lakeland area that is in need and doesn't have the financial means to be able to go to prep but would like to go to prep, that they can get this scholarship through him. He has 2 scholarships, and he always wants it to go to somebody that is not overly wealthy, and he doesn't want to see it go to somebody just to go there. He wants it to go to somebody who would love to go there but can't afford to go there. So just keep that in mind.
It's amazing.
Very good. I'd like to add a postscript to something that you said earlier, that now that this church is closed, they do have someplace else to go. St. Christ the King Parish in Archibald. Of course, we've worked in the committees to make a successful transfer, and all of those people, all those parishioners can be serviced at St. Thomas. Back in, well, let's say 1850, my great-grandfather was at St. Thomas in Archibald, and at that time, every Sunday they used to walk to Carbondale to attend Mass in Carbondale.
Wow, that's a walk.
That's
a walk.
That was the only place. Yeah.
Anyway, they did that. Then they built their own church there. This might be the second church that they built there. If it's not, it's the same church, and the first one, the steeple fell over in a windstorm, so they fixed that up. But the point I was making was the St. Thomas people used to traveling, so now those Christ the King parish members just have to travel to the Archibald site, St. Thomas Church. So, thank you everybody for coming out.
Yes, thank you.
I think it's in October we do the history thing at the Viewmont Mall.
Yes.
And Austin is always there selling his paintings. So if there's anything you would like to purchase from Austin, if you don't talk to him now and buy one, you can always come down to the Viewmont Mall in October, and it's in the paper, and you can get the information through us here. We have a booth there as well, and Austin always has some beautiful paintings there.
I don't want to buy a painting. I don't have any paintings.
He doesn't have any under his coat.
But, one point I would like to make, you're all familiar with German and many of the great things here. What would you consider to be another iconic building in German, something that you're proud of?
Right behind her head on that thing is the Windsor Hotel.
I was just going to say that too.
In 1866, it was built as the Farmers Hotel by John Nicholson.
Well,
And it's still standing, still in use as a hotel and a bar. It went through many changes, went through several fires, And the left-hand side of that building was taken off in the 1903 fire, and the top was taken off in the late 50s, early 60s fire. And it still survived, still is a hotel and a bar and a restaurant. And I think it's up for sale from what I understand.
Up for sale again? Well,
Yeah.
my classmate, Paul Kuliak, that Paul and Ronnie and whatever owned it.
There is another building on Main Street, Dulce Dun.
Oh.
It's a house on Main Street that was the first church in Germany,
Wow.
used by everybody. Every denomination, that's where the Methodists met, I think that's where the Catholics met, then they met in Reimers Hall. But that was a meeting house, it was a hotel, it was where the first elections were held, and that's probably the most famous building in Germany. And it's now a house, but it was Messitz Hall at one time, and that's where the founders of German met. That was where they had held their first meetings.
I've driven by there, I'm gonna take a look at it.
Yeah, and we have pictures of it here in one of the books, but that is probably the most iconic building as far as
Okay.
what its value is to the town of German. I mean, the Windsor Inn is a bar and a restaurant.
Right.
That is where the founding fathers of German met. That's where they were elected. That's where the first voting was. I
But,
mean,
but the
everything.
building isn't quite the same as it was when they,
It's pretty much the same. It
Is it
looks the
pretty much the
same.
same?
The name is still on the front. The
the
building
Windsor-
pretty much looks the same. The Windsor's different, but the Dulce
Well,
Donum
Dolce Dome,
looks the
I
same.
agree with you on that. It was the Windsor that I was saying that
Yeah.
wasn't.
No, the
same.
Windsor has changed completely. Like I said, the top floor is gone. They added the porch on the front. They added the columns in the front, and it's more modernized. And
Yeah.
but I mean, it was a beautiful building when it was built, and it's taken on many owners over the course of time. Nicholson owned it and built it, and then Snyder's and Edmonds' family combined owned it next. That's who owns it during that picture. And the lady, the person in the little baby carriage is one of our members' mothers.
Wow.
And she ended up being her family owned it. And then the building across the street, which was called the White Elephant, it was a set of row houses. She went down to the York, Lancaster area, and she's seen how they were building houses there in rows, and they were putting firewalls between them. She came up here and designed that building and built those buildings. You can see them right out the window here, really.
Right. Yeah.
They're right in the background over there. And then she built Harmony Heart, which is the camp up at Heart Lake.
Right.
Olive, they called her Ollie.
Ollie, yeah.
Olive, she built those.
And she's in our
It's
movie.
amazing, yeah.
And she's in our movie
Oh,
that
I
we
wanna
have,
see
the
it.
1940 movie called The Movie Queen that was shot here in German. It's a silent movie, and Dick's father and mother are in the movie. She escorts the movie Queen, and Dick's father leads the parade. So, the family's been around. Then it was called the Bluebird Hotel for a while, and then it got the name all of a sudden the Windsor Hotel, and it's been the Windsor ever since. So there's a lot of history to that as well.
Yeah. We could be here for weeks.
Oh, yeah.
I can speak.
Yeah, there's
Don't let
lots.
me keep
We love
talking.
it, yeah.
No, because I can talk about every
He
building.
knows
in town.
everything.
That's great.
On this
It's so
town,
good
yeah.
to
It's
do a
great.
wrap-up.
Designed for the
Yeah.
Centennial German, and has the breaker on the other side, the birthplace of First
That
Aid
is
on the other
great.
side.
Well, thank you very much. That is, that's good. I don't think I ever saw that breakup.
There are two pictures, one of each one over on that side.
Already.
Here to you.
I'll check that.
If you ever want to paint a breaker, put it.